Alright, here we are, Game 1, Bronze League. Myself, Joe Black, spawning as Red Protoss, and my partner, Seroth, spawning as the Blue Terran. And our opponents, we have Robert, spawning as Protoss, and CK Tommy, spawning as Terran. Just announcing to Seroth what our matchup is, and here I am pinging the locations of our opponents so that Seroth, like I said, I don't know if he actually remembers where or not the opponents will spawn, but just pinging away to let him know. Speed up the beginning of the match here, seeing as how it's all the same stuff every time, unless there's some kind of cheese going on. So usually boring. We've got Robert coming out here, doing some peculiar pylon placements out front. Since it's Terran and Protoss, I decided to not wall off. So I'm throwing down my first gateway here. Seroth decided to not wall off as well. Throwing down the second barracks. We've got CK Tommy halfway through his barracks. I watched this before. I watched this one time before I'm doing this little cast. So the reasons of why Robert has so much money comes a little bit clearer towards the end, but it seems to be very strange the entire match until you actually see why he's sitting on so much cash. But so here I am researching Warp Gate. I've got 2 gateways. The timing of my next 2 units, I make a Sentry and a Stalker, and the timing of those 2 units I believe should be pretty much right on with Warp Gate, so when these 2 units are done, my Warp Gate tech is finished, so I can immediately go into Warp Gates and start warping in units. Seroth building his 3rd bunker, not putting on any reactors or tech labs. What exactly I don't know if he just now, he's got 1 harvester there, yeah, so he only has 2 guys harvesting gas. Sent my Zealots out to take over the Zelnaga towers. I believe we might be able to see, yeah, so I can see there's 1 pylon right there. Starting to work on getting my forces up. Guess we can slow down the game a little bit now. Going for 4 gate. Have my robo facility almost done. Working on my +1 weapon upgrades. And throwing down my Twilight Council. I believe I go for Zealot legs first to try and combat the typical kind of mass marines that you'll see in 2v2. Seroth building his expansion. Robert just finishing his, not mining out of it. CK Tommy almost done with his, and I'm getting ready to throw mine down a little later than everybody else, but if we check out the units tab, Robert has not made any army at all yet. And we've got CK Tommy only going with 12 Marines, so he's less than my teammate, and he's got some Marauders even thrown in there. Just popped out my first Observer, and I have only 3 Zealots, a Sentry, and a Stalker, but with my 4 gates finally going up now, and my expansion working away, should be able to start churning out units pretty quickly. Weapons level 1 almost done. Where's my Observer? Here we go. Observer making his way up. So here is why Robert had all that money stashed up, is he was going straight into a triple Stargate pretty much on 1 base. Not even chrono boosting out. I guess he's got 2 full Nexus with energy. Just letting these carriers slowly build away, and I'm gonna spot this with my Observer. I was kind of scared because I figured he would have some cannons or another Observer up or something. I miscall it and think that he's making void rays, but he's making carriers, and he also supply blocked himself, and so here he is throwing down, what, 8 pylons to be able to back up making all these carriers. So now I shared my info with Seroth in the hopes that he's actually paying attention. He's finally making a factory. He said you can make a starport. What have we got here? Researching zealot legs, transferring some probes to my expansion. My money's getting a little high, so I should either start chrono boosting out a lot of probes, or throwing down maybe 2 more gates, or trying to go a little further up the tree. What do we got here? Alright, so we've got 2 carriers, the third one about to pop out, and he's making 3 more stargates on, well, essentially 1 base. Does he even have 3 guys in here? Yeah, so he's on 1 base with 4 gas, and he's trying to be able to support 6 stargates. So I'm telling Seroth to try and get up to stargates as fast as possible, so starports, so that he can finally start producing some anti-air. So the leg's almost done. I'm not making any immortals or anything because it seems kind of useless to make immortals. Seeing how he has carriers, and was it? Yeah, this guy only has 2 marauders. Yeah. So don't really seem worth it to make any of those. Seroth finally putting down some tech labs and reactors, but not researching anything for any of his marines. I mean, look at all this gas. 600 gas. You could at least spend 150, 250 of it or whatever, and get every upgrade at once, or even throw down an engineering bay or 2 engineering bays and get weapons and shields upgraded at the same time. So here I go, finally starting to mass up a force, making 2 more gates. See if we can check out the production tab. Working on Blink, weapons 2, throwing down a dark shrine. Where's the dark shrine? I don't even know where I hid my dark shrine. Can't even find it for myself. There we go. Hiding it in plain sight, right out in open. So we got CK Tommy with an expansion. Seroth's building his next expansion, and I'm still just going on 2 base. Do I have any better saturation? 8 probes there. Almost 16 there, so pretty bad saturation. Working on my Templar archives. Dark Shrine's almost done. My 6 gates almost done. So let's see, working on any kind of no, somewhat producing units, good and well enough. Alright, it's warping out Blink. Let's check the units tab. So we've got 8 zealots, 10 stalkers, 12 sentries. So it's got 64 marines, 17 marauders. He's managed to keep up with SCVs, and he's got mules, so he'll be well ahead of me money wise. There's 8 carriers, no other forces. How much money does this guy have? He's sitting on 800 minerals. I mean, he could even just be producing some zealots to spend his minerals and actually have, something else to support these carriers. But that's all he's doing, is just pumping out carriers. Alright, so I've made 3 Dark Templar. I don't even know where they are. This is the last issue I had. Couldn't even find my own Dark Templar or figure out when I sent them in. There they are, they're just in the mix. Alright, so finally making a push here. I pretty much figured it was now or never if he got up to like a critical mass of carriers and we let the and if we let the Terran player mess up any Marines or Thors or anything. I think I saw the Thors walk by with my observer, but I figured we had to go now or we were gonna lose. I should have brought a probe up with me and made a proxy pylon, but I did not do any such thing. I figured that the Dark Templars mixed in with my army would do a good job of doing a lot of damage to the ground forces. There we go. Either I don't know what he was doing sending this thing out, but it just got wrecked. And this is where our lack of communication really hurts me. So we've got Seroth splitting off from me. I'm trying to take out the army, which is the greatest threat, but Seroth is over here just attacking away at this base that pretty much is doing nothing anyways. So I'm throwing up some Guardian shields, trying to reduce all the damage being thrown out by all these interceptors. And instead of Seroth moving up to this area and focus firing on the carriers, he just stays down low and picks off all the interceptors with his marines and just lets them auto fire. And then he finally slowly starts to push up. Luckily all these carriers have run out of interceptors. Dude is, I mean, he's got like 58 marines. So send my Dark Templars up ahead, and probably CK Tommy throwing down scans, but he has no forces to try and even take out my Dark Templar. I mean, one of them hardly even losing any of his shields because he only has like 2 marines. What have we got here? 9 kills, 10 kills, 9 kills. I mean, they probably had no idea that I had any Dark Templar in that army in the first place, and they're just racking up the kills, just destroying SCVs and the marines. Finally rallying some more stalkers into the mix. Then I sent I was worried about these turrets because he has a small force of marines here, but they weren't close enough. I just took out the turret, ran away from the second one, came down low. He tries to run away with his marines, scans me, but he's left a nice little path here for my Dark Templar to just run in the back, and now he has no energy for another scan, and I just start hacking away at his SCVs while Seroth has destroyed this expansion, pretty much left the Protoss player alone now that he can't, well, he could be producing out of here, but, and then CK Tommy rage quits and his teammate soon after, and that was our first game.